been about 10 years, 8 years now since Mega Man 10 came out. I'm extremely happy to play Mega Man 11. But what was the moment that made this the time to start the next Mega Man game?
So there's two big reasons why it worked out and we're able to release a brand new Mega Man. First off was the fact that it's the Mega Man 30th anniversary, and we wanted to do as much as we could to honor that. The other reason is for me, I wanted to create a new Mega Man, but I felt like there wasn't I wanted a veteran creator to kind of step up to the plate and say like, hey, I want to make a new Mega Man, like I want to make this happen. And because it's such a long-running franchise, I felt like I needed someone that I could trust. I didn't want just anybody just coming up and being like, I can do it. And around that time, Director Oda came up and he said, now's the time. Let's make a new Mega Man game. And all lined up, and that's why we're able to develop Mega Man 11.
Having been a while since not just Mega Man 11 or Mega Man 10, but since any games in the franchise were developed, what was the process of getting the institutional knowledge where we felt like we could make Mega Man 11? Because I played the collection almost all the way through on the plane, and this feels like a really tight evolution of that. Was there a research process or a learning process of getting up to speed on that, or did it just feel natural returning to that franchise and building a new one even after so much time?
When the two of us decided to set forth and create a brand new Mega Man game, as you said, we did do a fair amount of research. We knew that the Mega Man franchise is most popular in the West, so we did a lot of research to figure out what are people saying about the franchise right now, like what kind of Mega Man game would they like to see, and on top of that we wanted to also see what people who were familiar with the franchise but never touched a Mega Man game, like what are those people saying about it, what kind of impression do they have of it. So we wanted to kind of test the waters and see what people were actually saying. So we did a fair amount of research from then on. So after all of that, we kind of sat down and from there, having taken all of that like consumer commentary and feedback, we set out and took a lot of time to figure out like, okay, like this is what people are saying, this is what people want. What do we want to make that would satisfy that consumer base?
During that process of figuring out what the consumers, especially the ones who weren't experienced with the franchise, wanted or thought of the franchise, is there anything that stuck out to you that perhaps was surprising, that was not expected coming out of it?
There were definitely a lot of points that surprised us. One of the things that really surprised me was the fact that how well the fans understood like the details of the game and like the intricate game mechanics, and it was just nice to see just how well the fans like really dug deep and like understood everything about it, and that was really cool to see. And I think one of the big takeaways from that was the fact that like these guys don't want to see like a dramatic change. They want to see something that stays true to what the franchise represents. So that was a big takeaway for me. And then Oda-san was saying, for me it wasn't so much a surprise, more of a realization. And the realization was that because a brand new Mega Man game hadn't come out for so long, just kind of looking at the fans and what their commentary was, and it was this strange feeling of them protecting Mega Man from us probably because we hadn't created a new Mega Man game in so long. So that was really interesting to kind of see that feedback.